Is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Hello, thank you for tuning in to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. I am Kevin Smith.
And I am Kayla King.
And welcome to your news at noon. These are the top stories we're tracking. GTT's parent company may seek compensation for any loss of exclusive rights over market. Protesting Linden nurses to receive salary cut, GPSU to take legal action against Ministry of Health, and Kanu rank caught on camera assaulting Latham businessman with rifle. Unit says rank need more training when dealing with civilian agitation. Meanwhile, $150 million upgraded CJIA has to be redone. 4-lane road network to reach Essequibo and Berbice, says the Vice President. Meanwhile, Jerry Gavaya to head Prison Sentence Management Board as Cabinet approves senior Home Affairs roles. And vaccines alone will not stop current COVID-19 surge, says the PAHO Director. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Guyana, please join me on the Glenn Lal Show, 99.1, 99.5, Kaieteur Radio, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast of the next day at 11 a.m. just in case you miss that program.
And now for the news in detail. Even though the PPPC administration broke the back of its monopoly over the telecommunications market, Atlantic Tele Networks Inc., or ATN, the US-based parent company of the GTT, is of the impression that its June 18, 1990 license is still intact and therefore gives it exclusive rights over domestic, fixed and international voice and data services. Should its contract be involuntarily terminated, it may challenge the government for compensation. ATN noted this much in its latest financial filings with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. In that document, which was perused by Kaieteur, ATN made it clear that it has a license from the Guyana government, which allows it to be the exclusive provider of domestic, fixed and international voice and data services.
In a missive dated April 9, 2021, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health, Malcolm Watkins, officially informed nurses who are currently engaged in industrial action at the Linden Hospital complex that their salaries will be cut for the days they were absent from duty. In one of the correspondences, that nurse's salary would be cut for 19 days. She said those were all days she was protesting. It has been close to 2 months that the nurses have been protesting for the removal of the CEO of the hospital, Rudy Small.
And now let's tell you, a rank attached to Kanu was yesterday caught on camera assaulting a Latham businessman with a high-powered rifle, with the unit last evening issuing a press release stating that its ranks need additional training in dealing with what it referred to as civilian agitation. The assault incident reportedly took place sometime after 12 hours in the compound of GRA office in Latham, in Region 9. The businessman, Lyndon Franklin, was reportedly detained after GRA and Kanu had caught him with smuggled liquor in his home at Tabachinga, Latham. According to a video recording, the man was using his cell phone to record the armed ranks standing in front of the GRA compound. As he recorded the ranks one after the other, he narrated that they were blocking him from exiting the compound.
Now let's tell you, Vice President Dr. Barrett Jagdio this past week briefly outlined his vision for the country as an emerging oil and gas economy and has spelled out the need for the construction of critical supporting infrastructure. One such critical piece of infrastructure, according to the Vice President, is the yet-to-be completed $150 million upgrade of the Chedijagan International Airport. Dr. Jagdeo disclosed that as part of his PPPC vision for the new Guyana economy, there would be a build-up of up to 12 lanes of roadway leading away from the central airport, stretching to Essequibo and Berbice. This, he said, is in order to complement the existing network of highways and roads.
And moving on, leading private sector businessman Captain Gerald Gavaya has been named to head the Guyana Prison Service Sentence Managing Board, while engineer Bert Sukai has been approved to lead the Firearms Licensing Board. This is in keeping with a number of cabinet decisions taken and since published in the official Gazette. According to the publication, Captain Gavaya will be heading the Sentence Management Board with the assistance of other members, including retired Major General Norman McLean. Other appointments approved by Cabinet in its deliberation include members of the Prison Service Training Board to be headed by Tracy Shamshuddin and Deputy Umesh Satyanand.
Meanwhile, Pan American Health Organization Director Carissa Etin is urging countries to employ a comprehensive strategy of not only immunization but also public health measures to curb the surging pandemic. The warning comes even as COVID-19 vaccine delivery to the Americas has slowed. Since March, PAHO's revolving fund has helped deliver more than 3 million doses of COVAX procured vaccines to 28 countries. The revolving fund negotiates purchases and arranges logistics for the shipment of vaccines to the 36 countries that participate in COVAX. So far in the Americas, more than 247 million COVID-19 vaccines have been administered, including through deals countries made individually with vaccine producers.
It is now 12 hours 24 in Guyana, and you're listening to Kaieteur Radio. This is your news at noon. Coming up after the break, Craig Mann confesses to 2015 killings and attempted murders. Pharmaceutical supplier charged for providing expired HIV testing kits. Trial to commence on May 11th. Bus driver charged for killing pensioner on Avenue of the Republic, and over 300 benefit from TIP awareness outreach in Region 6. OHS department investigating allegations of poor handling of COVID-19 infections at AGM, and local investors looking to undertake massive corn and soya bean cultivation project. Government to explore public-private partnership. Meanwhile, murder of youth found floating in creek, one arrested as police hunts a wounded workmate. Do stay tuned.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. Orpheus Johnson, a former resident of Craig East Bank, Demerara, has confessed to killing two people and wounding two others. According to the first indictment presented to Johnson before Justice Sandil Kisoon at the Georgetown High Court earlier this week, on June 21, 2015, he unlawfully killed Travis Rudder, and on the same day he discharged a loaded firearm at Mwanza Gill and 18-month-old Chahil Rudder with the intent to murder them. According to reports, the shootout took place at Republic Park, East Bank, Demerara.
And now let's tell you the trial for the executive of a pharmaceutical supplies company who was charged for providing fake HIV testing kits to the Ministry of Health is expected to commence on May 11th. The company, Caribbean Medical Supplies Inc., is one of the country's biggest local pharmaceutical supply companies. Last year, the company was charged by the Government Analyst Food and Drug Department. Area Manager Devendra Ramprasad is the company's representative who is facing the charge in the Lenora Magistrates Court before Magistrate Zamina Ali C. Paul. The matter is being prosecuted by Shemroy Pompey, a drug inspector.
In other news, Leon Kyle, a 30-year-old bus driver, was yesterday placed on $300,000 bail after he was charged with causing death by dangerous driving. Kyle appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court before Principal Magistrate Sherdell Isaac Marcus to answer to the charge. Kyle was not required to plead to the charge, which alleges that on April 12th, on the Avenue of the Republic, Georgetown, he drove a minibus in a manner dangerous to the public, causing the death of 72-year-old Keith Alexander McGarrell. The magistrate then granted the bus driver bail, and the matter was adjourned to May 11th, 2021.
And now let's tell you, the Ministry of Human Services, in a release yesterday, stated that it had conducted a series of structural awareness sessions in the form of walkabouts in Region 6 over a 3-day period to educate members of the general populace and selected civil society organizations, or CSOs, and on the phenomenon of trafficking in persons. The awareness walks were conducted at the New Amsterdam and Rosignol markets, where these areas provided the traffic officers attached to the ministry with access to reach street vendors, small and large business owners, stores, and food courts. The civil society organizations, Guyana Bricklayers Foundation and the Guyana Sex Workers Coalition, were among some of the organizations that benefited. Members of the Guyana Police Force also participated in the exercise.
Now let's tell you, the Occupational Safety and Health Department of the Ministry of Labor is currently investigating allegations that COVID-19 infections at the Aurora Gold Mines, operated by the Zijin Mining Group, are being inadequately handled. The OSH Department's Director, Gwyneth King, confirmed this in a recent engagement with this newscast. A source stated that there have been a notable number of infections recorded at the AGM worksite located in Region 7. However, the company has treated the situation lightly. According to the source, this is because the worksite is still operating as per normal, despite management being cognizant of employees testing positive for the virus.
And now let's tell you, it is understood that the company six local companies have joined together to undertake a massive project that could see Guyana on the path to becoming self-sufficient in corn and soya bean over the next few years. The owners of the Guyana Stockfeed Limited, Royal Chicken, Edon Farms, SBM Wood, and Bounty Farm Limited, along with the Brazilian-owned NF Agriculture, have partnered to produce soybean and corn for both local and the regional markets. The 7-member team has been aggressively engaging the relevant bodies and is expected to commence this massive report project over the next few months.
Meanwhile, it could be that the youth whose remains were found last week Thursday floating in the Arcaca River, Region 1, was murdered by one of his workmates, who has reportedly gone into hiding. That workmate, according to sources, was seen with a fresh wound to his face mere hours after Avinash Fernandez, 19, had disappeared around 1930 hours on Monday, April 5th. As Region 1 ranks continue to hunt for the wounded workmate, they have arrested another suspect who they believe might have also been involved in Avinash's murder. An autopsy revealed that Fernandez was strangled to death. The workmate has since disappeared from the area.
And now we head over to our COVID-19 update. According to Worldometer, the number of worldwide coronavirus cases has reached 140.1 million, with deaths at 3 million and recovery cases at 119 million. Locally, there are 11,527 total cases, with total deaths at 263 and recoveries at 10,015. The country currently has 1,249 active cases, with 10 critical. And with that, we head over to the page 7 of today's Kaieteur News, dedicated to being blunt. Every day that we do not receive a reasonable explanation from Exxon about the failure to fix the gas compressor on Liza 1 is another day that we accept an increasing level of disrespect to our national patrimony. And with that, we've come to the end of today's News at Noon. I am Kevin Smith.
And I'm Kayla King. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6